That gets heavy real quick.
Russ is officially the Regis Philbin of the show.
Yeah. I was gonna say I feel like more like I'm going into a hockey game or something. The teams are gonna come out soon.
All right.
Oh, that's fine. We're not saying anything stupid.
Don't want to get demonetized. That's right. It was $3 or $4.
Already.
Value. All right. Hey there, everybody. Welcome to another Alternative Cycling Network. We've got Eric Spinney from SpinDat and Mike from Locked In, and we are the Alternative Cycling Network, also known as the, apparently, what was the comment? The drop bar elitists.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Fine with that.
Just because, you know, we poked a little fun at the hybrid divergé. And, you know, for the record, we're not against drop bars. Like, Eric, you have many drop bar bikes. There's some behind you.
Yeah. Wait, what are you talking about?
Oh,
I'm not against flat bars.
or flat bars.
Very for drop bars, not against flat bars.
Right. And bike, do you have any flat bar bikes?
I do not currently own
Elitist.
any. Have I ridden some? Have I ridden some? Yes. Not prejudice.
Do you hate them? Do you think people that prefer flat bars are terrible people?
No. Technically, if you go back on my channel, I have a flat bar like fixed gear. That's some
OG.
real stuff.
Right. Yeah.
Those two.
So again, we weren't saying flat bars were evil. We were just kind of questioning, you know, the very expensive version, the $2,300 version. Yes, there's a more affordable one, but we were talking
the Evo.
Yeah,
remember the Evo for evolutionary.
Right.
That's it.
Gravel bikes evolving back into mountain bikes.
Yeah, like,
the Pokemon of diverges.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we didn't expect this to happen. We just it was such a slow kind of evolution of.
Yeah.
My Charmander was not ready to be evolved at that point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So in today's episode, we've got an entertaining program for your entertainments. We're going to be talking about the new SRAM stuff that dropped. Was it yesterday? It always seems to be right before we do the show.
It's today, I think, right? Was it?
No, it was 2 days ago, maybe.
2 days ago.
But the industry knows that we're gonna offer our commentary on it, like
Right.
as fresh as possible. So
Right. That's why they schedule it like they do, so they can get our hot takes.
yeah, it's interesting that it's worked out this way so quickly.
Right.
Did you see that? They dropped it the day before ACN, so we could gather our
thoughts and
knowledge,
feelings, right?
collective knowledge.
Because they want that input. The industry wants that input.
They don't want to say it, but here we are. You know.
Right, and they don't want to give us anything so we can actually, you know, have informed input, but
I think they like the speculation.
right.
Yeah, exactly.
The armchair bike mechanics. So we're gonna talk about the new. That's gonna be a whole new segment. I've got a fancy title. Unfortunately, Eric and Mike can't see it. Everyone else can see it, but it looks awesome.
Ooh, ah. Ooh, ah.
And we're also going to be doing a logo reveal, another fancy title. And then we will be going into our bike origins, the respective ways that we each fell in love with cycling. I guess we should do the logo reveal first, right? Since we've been dragging it on for like forever.
3-4 weeks. I mean, that's pretty reality TV show of us.
Like 6 more view polls, and we'll get there. Yeah.
Okay, sounds like we got some echoes. Is this okay? Oh, the two of you guys are echoey for some reason. Interesting. Hold on. Sorry. Sorry, guys. Also, mics. We are doing some interesting things here. I got a new mixer.
And it's sick.
Okay, serious echo. What can we do? Let me see. Can you guys talk?
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, I can talk.
Okay.
This is yeah. This is real life. This is
Just
doing it live.
Prompted is tough to come up with any sort of
Yeah. So what? Let's. I'm gonna have you guys keep talking for a little bit. So what's going on your channels? Well, I figured this out.
All right, let Eric go first.
Okay. I have been fiddling with and trying to not spend too much, but will end up spending plenty of money on the new Retro Grouch build. Build, mostly just my 26-incher Retro Grouch specialized rock hopper that I really will change it to anything I want all the time. But right now the idea is like drop bar, gravel kings. Eventually it'll be 1x10. Right now it's single speed. Actually spent a good portion of the day riding that bike and making a does it suck with it today. So expect that tomorrow. Yeah.
Cool. So Eric sounds good. How about you, Mike? What's been going on your channel?
So mine, I just finished my Monster Gravel bike build series. Well, finished, but it's going to be a continuation on the series. So that's been, I did a final weight for different setups. I did how to achieve a mullet build, what components you need, and then as well as what price point you can do it at in different capacities. So that's been the last few videos that I've done, but I'm going to be doing 2 videos because of the virus for this month. So I'll be releasing videos on Tuesday and Saturday for the rest of May, at least if I get ahead of time, because I have nothing else to do and can't ride anywhere. Maybe we'll save that to next month, but currently, yeah, till May.
You're not allowed to even go ride right now? Like you can't go out?
The trails are limited. Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
And if the trails are open, it's going to be hiking only for most of them.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It's sounding good. I don't know what happened.
All right.
I didn't do anything. I'm gonna try not to touch anything anymore. But on that
Except
note,
the mixer.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Look at that production value.
Right.
Look at this.
Yeah.
Look at
The show's just getting baller and baller every time. Okay, so let's do the logo reveal. Again, there's a title here that they cannot see, only I and you guys. So let's go to the logos. Oh no, weren't supposed to see that yet.
I have it seen in another page, so I'll see it in like 3 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah. Hold on, guys. The joys of live. The joys of live. Hold on. Okay. All right. So we've been teasing the logos for long enough. We have a ton of different entries, and we have boiled it down to our favorite top three. So we commune amongst each other, gave our thoughts and feelings, and deliberated, and these are our top 3 designers and ultimately the final logo. So the first one is Ian Crombie, and his logo is this awesome metal one. Okay, my echo is back bad. Okay, I see what's going on. Okay, so the Ian Crombie. Tell me if I'm echoing, guys.
You sound good to us.
Okay.
That sounds fine.
I think I caught it. It was picking up my computer microphone at the same time. No?
Yeah.
Okay.
The hair metal, yeah.
Yeah. Are we good?
Yep.
Okay. I'm looking at Laura. Sorry, this is live. Okay, Ian Crombie, Alternative Cycling Network, and what I love about this is that it harkens back to the hair metal, and in particular, this pink and blue one really reminds me of my Crest Bambora, so it's a little bit partial.
Well, yeah,
to that
that's a little biased.
Yeah.
As we can all tell, this is Russ's favorite.
Right. And the second runner-up is Matt Pollard, and he had some awesome designs. This one really spoke to us. It's the green one. I'm describing it so Mike and Eric can imagine it. It's the green one that says "built with duct tape and zip ties," and that's a reference to I forget who said that on one of our first episodes. Because as you guys can tell, we are literally held together by duct tape and zip ties sometimes. And he's got this great one, another alternative cycling network one, where it's a yellow background, kind of a world and a bicycle wheel, hand-drawn, kind of rough font, not very polished, very alternative. And the last one is Matt Reynolds. This is the first runner-up, the one that came in at the 11th hour that we all really liked. And Matt actually lives in the same town as you, Eric, right?
Yes, he does. Yeah.
Do you know him personally?
Yes. Yeah, we actually go. We went and rode together a couple times, and we just kind of like stayed in touch from then.
Cool.
It's weird to think that someone watches in my town.
Did you know that he was submitting a logo, or was it a complete surprise?
No,
to you?
it popped up out of nowhere. He's like, "Hey man, is it too late? I made these two." And I was like, "Oh shit, it almost is kind of too late, but."
But it was so good.
Also, yeah.
And we need a drum roll. I don't think there's a drum roll.
Wait. Production value. Ready? 1, 2, and 3.
And
yeah.
Oh, and it just keeps on going.
Forever.
Okay. So I think what attracted us to this one is it's got the fist pumping in all of its alternativeness, and we asked Matt to add zip ties.
Which is fair. I think it just takes all of our top threes and adds them together. Like speed metal, the fist bump,
right?
Yeah.
Pumping, held together with duct tapes and zip ties, duct tapes.
Duct tapes, plural.
Multiple duct tapes.
At least 2 zip ties is what you need at all times in your life. I think that's or 47. But like we are all
with you.
We're all there.
Yeah. So I think we're gonna. We talked. We might add. I think. One more zip tie just to be symbolic. Round it out.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah.
So 3 zip ties in total. So that's going to be our official logo, and we're going to
get that on a T-shirt or a beanie or whatever object you want. Just put in the comments.
Yeah, merch.
We'll make it happen.
Merch. Yeah. We're gonna pay Matt in Instagram likes and.
Yeah, shout out Matt's Instagram page.
Here it is live.
What is it?
Live. All right. 3 minutes later, Eric's gonna research it and he's gonna know what his @handle is.
Matt C. Reynolds.
Okay.
Matt C. But you know what? The only good thing about I like that his last name is Reynolds is because he's like the Reynolds tubing. So like he's like a rain cyclist. Yeah. Like that's like it's kismet. And
I have Reynolds carbon wheels.
There you go. Yeah, it's all tied together.
Bam.
Matt.
Yeah,
fellow brethren. Yeah,
I think I'm gonna send some patches and stickers and some postcards as a sign of thanks, and
there you go.
We'll start to incorporate it into future episodes that are hopefully less echoey.
Yeah, if my carrier pigeon makes it to you, Matt, good on you.
Right. So everyone, big round of applause for Matt. Yay! They like it. They really like it. Okay. So on to the next segment of the show, which is the new, where we talk about the new. Trying to be creative.
My mom used to call my brother New when he was a baby. So
your mom was hip.
Oh yeah,
she was down with the lingo. So what are we talking about here?
She was at this before we.
So SRAM just dropped their new. Everywhere I've seen it referenced, it's like wide in quotations.
Wide. Yeah.
So Mike, do you have the details? I think you've read up the most about it.
Yeah. So for me, So the difference for the wide generation, because I've been a very big experimenter with first gen of ETAP on my bike, is the wide variation essentially gives you two new components depending on what system you're running. So it gives you a new longer cage rear derailleur that allows you via SRAM spec to run up to a 36. So SRAM's new Axis ETAP is a 10-tooth cog to a whatever they allow. So it's a 10 to 36. Their crankset now is a 30-43. The big thing for old ETAP owners who they never really addressed, and I ran into this problem myself, is the bigger clearance for the front derailleur. So if you want to run a all-road gravel 2x bike because you believe in 2x, the big problem was originally with ETAP was the front derailleur clearance. I had a frame builder, we built one around it, and he, extra clearanced it for his regular derailleur that we built, but the battery took up so much more space than we both expected that it limited my rear tire clearance.
Like what was the fattest you could get back in there?
Let's call it like 34 WTB exposure, which I love that tire when it was out. It would kind of scribe its own like little bit of line into the battery. Granted, the battery still worked, but it would wear off like
a 34.
Yeah. And so that was a problem. So nobody ever addressed that. I had no idea because when I built the frame, and no fault to my frame builder, I told him, like, yeah, I want to clear it. Like at the time, it was like a 35, 36. So he had a rim and rear wheel, and he built it at his house, and it all cleared out. And I didn't think that the ETAP derailleur was going to be so much fatter. So when we put that on there, he tried to clearance the frame right to make it work better, but there's nothing you can do to space the derailleur out.
Yeah. So
that was the problem to where now the new gen, they are saying it clears a 45 700 and a 2.1 650.
Cool.
Granted, if you do a custom frame build or depending on where your chainsaws are at, that can be greater if you obviously elongate your chainstays. So I think that's really where it can become, more desirable depending on where at with what you're adding it to.
Yeah. Let's see. So Mike, it sounds like you're getting echoey again. Did you touch anything?
Oh. Hello.
Okay.
Yeah, I can go to internal mic, but I'm on the same mic I've been on.
Yeah. I'm waiting for Laura to give me the nod that it's disappeared. So new chainring, new front derailleur design because apparently the old one was just too close to the rear tire, and it's wide in that respect. But in terms of gearing
capacity,
range,
no.
It's not like super. It didn't get like
no,
stupid
it's
wide.
not. It's not going to get mullet. Like that's the thing is like what I talked about in my video is the mullet range is still superior. This is just for somebody, in my opinion, that wants to get the dual purpose bike in their road capacity. If you want a bike that can do it all and you don't need crazy, dumb climbing gear, yes, this range totally makes sense because a 6-tooth difference for most road guys is insane. 1-to-1 is like crazy. So 6-to-1 is awesome. Right. So yes, if you want one bike to rule them all and you're mainly riding road and you can handle that can handle that, sure. But if you're going beyond that or you want to make it your gravel bike, yes, there's some compromise you have to make somewhere else. Yeah. For me, the difference with SRAM's like cassette versus like other companies is the 9 versus the 10 because that increases your front ring 3 teeth at minimum. So it really depends how you're trying to make your 1x work. Mm-hmm. So for me, like the other day, I did a ride with my buddy Mario, and we did a gravel ride, but I had a 36 with a 9 in the back, and I still hit 33 miles an hour.
Right.
For most guys on gravel, that's all right. Like, granted, I was going like 100, 105 cadence, but like if you really need to push that, like,
was that on the flat or was that a downhill?
it was granted. Do I have to divulge that? Come on, Russ. Like, don't ask me those questions.
It was
That was on
-6. And
that wasn't an uphill. What are you talking about? All right, so yeah, exactly. So that was a flat descent, you know. So yeah. But I'm saying, like, that was I wanted to see what my cap was on the cadence.
Right.
Because I wanted to see realistically, is it worth the 4-tooth gain for the loss in climbing gear versus the gain in flat?
Right.
You know, so that's really where it stems from.
Yeah. How about you, Eric? Any thoughts on the new SRAM, the new SRAM?
I find it interesting that they like for gravel market or anything actually decided to come back into a front derailleur at all. But I think the gearing is good. Actually, when I was putting together the Poseidon, like, the thought was I would like to have a double, because I've been doing the 1x thing for so long now that I'm like, I kind of miss that accident. Like, you know, you come around a corner, I don't know, there's maybe you had a blind corner or something, you're like, oh my God, I'm not in the right gear, and just touching that front derailleur and having it pop down into that easier gear.
Right.
I didn't realize how much I missed that until I was actually riding it again. I was like, oh wow, like, this is cool. Look how quick I can actually get that easier gear. Which is, like, you know, the thing that everybody argued against 5 years ago when 1x really kind of started to take over. I don't know, maybe I just purposely have to pick something just to be different. You know,
just being alternative, dang it.
yeah. Notwithstanding a set of, like, those weird canyon bars, or like a Love Fork, because I'm not going to.
If anybody has a canyon, I swear to God, like, and you don't want those hover bars anymore, Eric will gladly put them on the bike.
I'll ride them.
And if you send him 2 hover bars, he will double stack those. Double stack.
Yes,
We'll do a 4-stack.
Right. But beware when you send it to the hinterlands of Halifax, it's going to cost you $1,000 to ship it.
And that's fine.
Yeah, but it's totally worth it. Totally.
If you got the money to spend, do it. But actually, don't spend it on that. Just support the channels. But yeah, no, I don't know. I didn't really look in, like, new group sets right when they come out. I have a hard time with them interesting me too much because they are so expensive, and you know, I like to give them some time just to kind of, you know, be in the market for a little bit. But I am excited to see these front derailleur options for off-road riding. I'll never want to see it in mountain biking again. Like, I have no interest in that. But, like, for gravel riding, yeah, I kind of do. I like the idea of the quick front derailleur shift, get to the top of a punchy climb without having to sweep through your cassette. I don't know what it is about doing that, but I'm just like, man, I wonder if that's hard on chains.
Right.
It is. Yeah.
You know, I wonder if it's easier for a chain just to drop down into a smaller chain ring, not have to be wrapped around this tiny, tiny little cog, and just kind of power you up, climb, put it back into the big ring, find your cadence.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I was a little, I don't know. I was a little underwhelmed. I thought that it was going to be like a new kind of super subcompact when I first read the copy. But doing the maths, it doesn't seem like that much low of a gear. I am kind of bummed that there hasn't been much innovation in terms of just regular cable brakes and cable shifting. Like, do you think that the industry is going to just leave that behind and it's just all mechanical?
I have my thoughts on that.
What's that?
I have my thoughts on that based on, like, we kind of had that old discussion of it, but, like, for me, when I went to Grinduro last year, which I just signed up for this year, and RIP all of my entire body, but last year the big thing was, like, Axis had come out, so mullet was a thing at that point. I think with the success for SRAM for mullet, because Shimano isn't there, I think SRAM's gonna ride it out, because, like, you know what? If you can sell a $2,000 group set regularly. Make your money, boo-boo. And then when you're done, then you're going to have it all to us peasants, that want mechanical version of the same thing. So I think
I wonder if that leaves a hole for a company like Microshift to fill
it
that.
does. It does. It completely does, because you could be first to market, and Microshift, you hear it first. Remember, all of us, specifically me. That's the thing, is like you could realistically get into a market way before everybody else. And to be honest, the video I just put out was a potentially $500 to $700 version to get you into a mullet range of gearing. My whole shtick was, when it started, is like, this is less than just the rear derailleur.
Right, for sure.
Using all the components that we know. Granted, you lose one gear, but
you gain boatloads of money.
But yeah, $600. You can send that to the channel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, ACN can use that kind of money. No, but like that's the deal. Like, how can you do this realistically?
Yeah.
So I did a really budget version. Like, granted, now it's Sunrace cassette, road link, and my setup, but nothing really changes after that. But it's like, that market is so diverse. I think if they, like, just like ETAP when it came out, they never made a force version because the red sold so well for so long.
Right.
Why take less?
Right.
And so that's why I think that the first gen ETAP never sold under red.
Right.
And then they saw the Diverge with it, and then now they saw the mullet style. And they're just gauging the market, which I get as a company. I totally understand. But I think realistically, in another year, there's a possibility.
Yeah, I don't know.
But realistically,
when SRAM was, up and coming, I was like, ooh, that's kind of like the spunky upstart. But now it's like, I feel like they've lost touch with the people.
Yeah.
I don't think they have. Yeah, I don't think they have. I think they're a company at the end of the day. They're a company, and I think I even talked to the people, like the industrial designer, and he was like, "Dude, that cassette is more range than what we offer." Like, I had an E13 946, and he's like, "Bro, like, that's wider range." I was like, "I know. I'm just trying to help you out. Like, make a 950. Like, dude, we're good." And like, before everything else came out. And
so I'm gonna throw up a comment here in YouTube chat, because I get this a lot. So Ryan asks, "What's everyone's opinion on Sensa group sets made by SRAM engineers?" So I've seen Sensa around. I've not tried it. You have experience or no?
No, I want to.
Yeah.
I want to try they just released a 1x drivetrain. I've been trying to get a hold of somebody from there, because I want to make like a project bike. I want to have something I can try, like we all do. Rust, your cave, Eric, your 12 bikes. It's like we're all trying to do this stuff, like, but like the Sensa stuff, like, I've seen the road versions reviewed regularly, but the 1x, their 1x shifters essentially work and actuate very similar to double tap, but it clears a 52 because their pull ratio between their road and their mountain is the same. So that's where they get it, which, I mean, to me makes sense, and we all wish that all mountain and road stuff communicated together.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like this wildly cheap.
Yeah, it is wildly cheap.
The derailleur and the shifters, yeah, it's like 180.
You don't need to reach out to anybody for that. Just buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but hey guys, all right, like, I'm not trying to say like, hey, I don't make a whole lot of money from this, but this is where we're at.
So speaking of wildly cheap, a wildly cheap way to support this channel is to give it a thumbs up. According to analytics, this is a good time to ask you guys to do that. So we get good view velocity, and this expands beyond the shelf life of just the live stream. So Sensa, interesting. Microshift. I'm actually going to get a guy from Microshift on one of our live streams in a couple of weeks, which would be kind of interesting, and talk about their place in the market and see if they're, going to try to fill that space that SRAM has definitely vacated.
I think the microshift stuff that you've had has been awesome. I would 100% like I have a flat bar hybrid outside. I'd 100% put microshift on.
Yeah.
You said you didn't have a flat bar bike. Anyway.
No. Well, I mean like a hybrid. Sorry, not like a.
It's this closet flat bar bike.
It's also sat outside for like 4 years. I'm pretty sure it doesn't move, but it's fine.
But I don't think that you're going to see electronic group sets take over. Just to loop back to that, I don't think you're going to see that fully take over. I think you'll always see, like, even a mid to high end cable pull version of all group sets, and then you'll also see, like, the lower end will always have it as well. The way I and my fixed gear snobs have always said is, like, I don't want to have a account with my local power company to go ride my bike.
On me off grid, yeah.
Yeah, I've been with people whose Di2 batteries have died.
Sure, like, I've had an ETAP battery die. I know.
Yeah, I'm just like, you're such a loser. Like, see ya.
No, that's the thing. Like, that's the thing with my non ETAP build with the mullet. It's like, I can go ride this thing cross country and never have to bring a charger. Like, is that, for my road bike, is that a problem? No. But for this bike, might be.
Like, I've never owned electronic shifting, but I do own a phone, and I know how poor I am at charging it. Like, the amount of times my electronic group set bike would become a single speed would be an embarrassment.
It'd be a very expensive. But see, the problem is, Eric, you could make that video title the world's most expensive single speed. It's like that would pay for itself.
That's an
you might as well do it. Yeah.
Another 4,000 views for the books.
Right.
There we are.
Okay, so it sounds like we got some echo, and then hopefully it's disappeared again. I don't know what's going on, but I will play that sound just because.